Hello and welcome to my channel, Learn with Leah. I'm Leah and this is the second in a series of video lessons for non-native English speakers called Illumination English. And in this series we are exploring topics of interest such as music, food, culture, sports, economics, science and technology, and any topics that you might be interested in. Please do remember to put those in the comments below and I will reply. Now, some things to keep in mind about these lessons. Okay, they are, first of all, interactive. You have got to interact with me as I go through each part of the lesson, if you have any hope of improving or expanding your word power. Okay, so first of all, they're interactive. And also you need to do 3 parts of this lesson in order so that when you get to part 3, remember there's a surprise. If you've seen part 1 or the very first lesson in this series, you'll know what that surprise is. Okay, so remember in part 1, we have a read aloud, so you read aloud an article with me, adjusting the speed of your YouTube settings as necessary. In part 2, we look at the vocabulary from the lesson in part 1. We look at the definitions, we make sentences together. In part 3, we have a little interactive knowledge check again, so you can see how much you've remembered or retained throughout this lesson. And one more thing to remember, please, if you like this video, consider hitting that like and subscribe button below. And now let's get into our second lesson in this series. I'm so excited. Let's go. All right, let's begin this lesson with some pronunciation practice. We are going to start with this article from the Illumination English series called Twister Trouble. And we're going to look at the definition of twister in the article. So don't worry if you don't know what twister means. Now remember, in this part of the lesson we focus on pronunciation, so we're going to read together, we're going to read aloud this article and focus on clear speech. I know you might be distracted with all of this vocabulary that's been highlighted, but try not to focus on that. Focus on, first of all, when I read through it, just listen, and then next time around when you read with me, you want to be imitating the inflection pattern where my voice goes up and down, where I pause, words that I stress, or syllables within words that I stress. Okay, first time, listen through, and then repeat what you hear, trying to get it up to speed. Remember, you might need to adjust the speed the first couple times around. Okay, let's get started. On April 29th, 2022, at approximately 8:30 p.m., a tornado ripped through Andover, Kansas, nearly 30 years to the day that an F5 twister leveled the city. This time, no one was killed, but many homes and businesses were damaged, and power was out for about 13 hours. This town in Kansas is part of what is known as Tornado Alley, a geographically flat area of the Midwest stretching from Texas up to Minnesota. The folks who live in this region are used to extreme weather and know how to brace themselves for the worst. So, what causes a tornado? Basically, winds moving in different directions at different speeds and altitudes cause rising and sinking air near the ground to start spinning. The rotating air can be tilted vertically by the force of the rising, spinning air, allowing a tornado to form. As for now, there is no way to stop a tornado's destructive force, but advances in satellite and radar technology, along with early warning sirens, can give people enough time to find shelter. While anything in the path of a tornado doesn't stand a chance, lives can be saved. And that's the end of our reading. And I just wanted to add a note, too, that the reason I chose this article about twisters which is another word for tornado, a more colloquial word, is because this place, Andover, Kansas, is where I live. And luckily, I wasn't there the night that the tornado struck the city. I was quite far away. I could see it from where I was, but I wasn't there, and our home was not damaged. But it's been the talk of the town here where I am, which means it's been a popular topic of conversation, and it's been in the news. So I just wanted to share that little piece of trivial information with you. Okay, let's get ready now for part 2 of our lesson, where we're going to be looking at this targeted vocabulary here. We're going to be looking at the definitions and how to use these phrases in this context and out of this context. We're going to be making sentences together. So see you again in part 2.